From the WGBH newsroom in Boston, I'm Adam Reilly, and you're watching another installment of The Scrum, our never-ending conversation about politics in Boston and across Massachusetts. I'm joined by WGBH's political analysts, Kadzis and David Bernstein. David, by the way, is also a contributing editor at Boston Magazine. Guys, thanks for being here.
Great.
So some people are going to hate me for asking this question, but the last time Boston elected a new mayor, Tom Menino, he ended up serving for 2 decades. I know Marty Walsh hasn't even become mayor yet. We don't know how he's going to govern, but if he does a passable to good job, are we going to see another 2-decade mayoral tenure?
2 points. First of all, it's more people are going to hate you. And secondly, there's no reason why it couldn't come to pass.
Yeah.
Listen, the nature of Boston's mayoralty is it favors a sort of imperial populist style. Now, Marty Walsh has the populist part down, and I think the imperial part will come to him as he gets used to, wielding power.
What do you mean by the imperial part?
That, in other words, the mayor is by statute, by the city charter, has an awful lot of power. The buck stops with the mayor, and Menino, Bray Flynn, Kevin White, all mayors have used that power vigorously. But you want to be one of the people. You want to be loved.
Right.
You want to be singing "Kumbaya" with everyone.
So stylistically, you're a populist, and governance-wise, you are an absolutist, or something close to it?
Yes, an autocrat. And I think Marty Walsh will be able to pull that off.
Can he though? Because wasn't his whole campaign, or a big part of his campaign, predicated on this sort of opening up the conversation, opening up the city to a number of different voices and perspectives idea? I mean, do you think he can do the imperial populist thing Peter's talking about?
Well, I don't think it's, I don't think they're necessarily, incompatible thoughts. One of the ways that Mayor Menino kept his power for so long was by co-opting voices from around the city. And in a way, Marty Walsh has already done that. He's co-opted John Barrows, Felix Arroyo, Charlotte Golar-Ritchie.
Her second time being co-opted by a mayoral figure, right? Since Menino did the same with her.
It's true. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but you find, you can either try to ostracize a potential rival and, and keep them from having any power, or you can bring them in. I think he's the kind of person who can bring them in. He starts with a lot of different factions in the city sort of on his side in a lot of ways, and not looking to, for instance, if Marty had lost, you would have labor and maybe some of the minority communities looking to find a replacement for the other guy in 4 years. I don't think you start with that in this case.
Now, I think Walsh's challenge, he is not going to have a problem managing his own coalition. He put it together. They'll be loyal to him unless he makes some unforeseen mistake, which just isn't going to happen. The larger challenge, if he wants to be there for 20 years, or 20 years plus, is to how does he tap into, co-opt, or neutralize the reform impulse that's in the city that John Conley represents.
Well, in a way, that's part of his platform, right? Because he's talking about radical change at the BRA, changing the way planning and development are done in the city. So he has his own reform ideas.
I'm not saying it's impossible. It could happen, but the changes made in the structure of government, aren't really what I'm talking about.
Okay.
How do you get to people in West Roxbury or Jamaica Plain, or certain neighborhoods in Jamaica Plain, or the Back Bay, who are sort of classic good government types? He's not bad government. I'm just saying.
Right. David, I know you want to get in.
Well, and
that's
no. And that's something that the kinds of things that Peter's talking about are things that Menino was just fantastic with. Figuring out, he started back in 1993, 94 with very little support and a lot of antagonism among Black Bostonians, for instance, and he figured out ways to find things that they wanted that he could give them and ways that he could become popular there. And he did that throughout the city, Alston Brighton, and throughout the city. The other piece of it, though, is do we have a new mayor who will want to be mayor for a long time? Menino is an unusual character where that's all he wanted to do, and I think that's an unusual thing. I think that most of the people who were running, I think you could imagine them doing it for 2 terms and then looking to jump up to something else. I could see Marty Walsh really, wanting to be mayor for a long time, but on the other side, he has suddenly become a major figure to the national labor movement. And they want big things out of
Yeah.
him, whether in office or in some
And
other.
he is an effective champion on the national level right now.
He just has many opportunities that will be coming his way.
We're getting an enthusiastic rap sign. But
Think
one
governor.
question I got to throw out here. One question I got to throw out. What if, say, just to pick one name out of the barrel, what if, say, City Councilor Ayanna Pressley decided in 4 years or in 8 years that, yeah, actually she likes the idea of becoming the first female and first African American mayor of Boston. How would a contest like that, a hypothetical contest, shake out?
Geez, that's a hypothetical that I wouldn't, I
Yeah?
won't take, I won't wrestle with.
All right.
I think it depends on
By the way,
what
thank you for
happens.
being accommodating, unlike Peter.
Well, I'm going to give a non-answer, but I'll at least say something, a non-answer. I think it depends on how Walsh is, is there a large segment of the Boston community who is unhappy with the mayor in a couple of years when Ayanna would be looking to start to build a coalition. If not, she's not going to have the allies to put something like that together.
We gotta
Take
go.
Michelle Wu. Oh, okay.
Michelle Wu too. Michelle Wu too. David, thank you for being here. Peter, as always, thank you for being here too. Thank you for watching the Scrum. We will talk to you again soon.